Good morning, Nigeria. Hello to good people of this nation. Great people, great nation. Nigeria, Nigerians, everybody, living here and even abroad, the global world as well. Good morning. This is Femi Ojo on Western Spring Television on this very important, engaging program, Morning Spring. And this is where great conversations happen. And it is for the betterment of this great nation and you, the good people. We look at the headlines from major dailies updates. And of course, we talk about different issues as well. And that is what we are going to do exactly today, but in a more dynamic way. We are live on channel 190 StarTimes DTT. And of course, on our YouTube channel at Western Spring Television. Good morning. And good morning, Daniel.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, how do you do?
Great. How do you do?
Well, very well. We thank God for life. We are here and we are back here to do what we know how to do best.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful Thursday morning.
It is.
It feels great to be alive. I was just looking at a video posted by Bayo Onuga, as a presidential spokesman.
Right.
He captured it from his hotel room. He woke up in the morning and tried to capture the beautiful scenery of St. Lucia, the Caribbean island. I mean, quite beautiful. I mean, let me just say it was picturesque. That's the word I use for it. Very beautiful. I mean, it captures that. But again, as Nigerian leaders, I begin to ask myself, when you admire other places, why can't we, make this place even more beautiful? I mean, we have everything it takes as a people, the resources, the human capacity and all of that. So when our leaders travel like that, when they see things, they should be able to come back and replicate such beauty here to make lives better for Nigerians. Well,
exactly.
To our distinguished viewers, I say good morning and welcome once again to Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. I am Emeka Daniel. Always a pleasure to have you join us on this show, and it promises to be a great day. It's Throwback Thursday. What exactly are you throwing back? Unfortunately, I do not have most of my old pictures. I hardly take pictures anyway, but there's one. I called up someone, a friend, to send me some old pictures. Perhaps when I get it, I'll share. You might have a good laugh when you look at that picture. It's Thursday. It's a beautiful day. You do not want to miss any part of the program this morning.
And of course, many persons will be waiting for that to see a throwback of you maybe 20 years ago or 10, 15 years ago, maybe your days in the higher institution, your days in secondary school, or if you had a baby picture.
I don't think I have any. Unfortunately, I don't have any from high school. I don't know how it happened.
Well,
and I did quite a lot of stuff in high school.
All right.
I don't know where to get the pictures.
It's all right. But then beyond that, the biggest news right now, as far as politics in Nigeria is concerned, is the update from the new bride.
The coalition.
The bride's bride. The coalition adopting African Democratic Congress as their new baby. ADC it is right now. And the media where a couple of high-profile individuals resigned their membership of their previous parties. David Mark said it's okay, au revoir to the PDP. I think Aminu Tambol as well, and many other persons saying, okay, ADC is where we are going. And finally, before, it's all about will it be, will it not be, but they have made a position known right now, and ADC, trust. When some of these individuals went to the SDP as well, there was a ruckus in the SDP. Many persons say, no, it's our party. Some say, oh, allow them. They are trying to put our party, on a national level, truly national level. But then the train has moved to the African Democratic Congress right now, the ADC. And that is why new acting chairman and new acting secretary, national secretary has emerged. David Mack as the acting national chairman of that party. A former military administrator himself, a former Senate president, one of those big guns all the way from Benue State, the North Central. And of course, a two-time governor of Osun State, a two-time commissioner in Lagos State, a one-time minister of Interior under President Muhammadu Buhari. Ogbeni Rauf Aragbeshola is now the acting national secretary of the ADC. It is what it is.
Yeah, again, but more striking for me was the interesting drama that played out yesterday,
Right.
when the management of Wells Carlton Hotel in Abuja cancelled the booking for that meeting just hours to the
Before
event.
that time.
I mean, it's quite unfortunate. Why should organizations behave like that? This is a contract fully paid for. They've paid for the venue just hours, just that morning, just yesterday morning. They said they were cancelling that because of some, what was the reason they even gave? Some internal, I don't know. One funny reason they gave, just cancelled it. I think organizations should be held responsible for their actions for whatever reason. Some are saying it's political, of course. They start saying it's political. Why on earth would you cancel an event that has been booked and fully paid for just hours of the program? Just to truncate.
If it's said to be political, I think that's easy to read. Anybody can just arrive at that conclusion to say, maybe, just it's abysmal. And I'm not sure it's good for that business.
At all.
But then the thing is, in their minds, they will know possibly the pressure they faced, from turning down such a high-profile event that could have even, before now, many persons don't even know, at least around here, I'm not sure many persons know that such a hotel or event center exists. But then they have become notorious now, not popular.
They should even face litigation for that. I mean, it's a breach of contract. Someone has fully paid for something. Then hours to the program you are cancelling just because you want to disrupt that event. There is no other way to explain it. But thankfully for them, for the coalition, quickly they got another venue and they still held their meeting. So looking at that event, I was quite disappointed. Why would an organization, I mean, business is business, politics is politics. Again, it doesn't speak well for that organization because you don't expect other serious-minded businesses to look in their direction. I mean, in the future, because that will remain, that'll be like a smear, a stain on them to say that, oh, this organization, they are not trustworthy. They cannot keep to their word. I mean, it was a breach of contract, but unfortunately, fortunately for them rather, they still left the place and they still held their events.
According to Dele Mamadou, when he posted that that coalition thing has been, the event has been, the hotel has cancelled their booking, and then he forwarded a picture of a text message purportedly written by that hotel, and he said, subject, important notice regarding your event booking. Dear esteemed patron, thank you again for choosing the Wells Carlton Hotel and Apartment. We sincerely regret to inform you that due to an internal compliance matter.
Okay, internal compliance, that was what I was trying to remember.
That has just come to our attention. We are unable to proceed with hosting your scheduled event. So we are fully aware that the event is less than 24 hours away, and we deeply apologize for the timing and inconvenience these may cause.
Internal compliance
matter. These are some of the issues. But then, there is an adage around here in which when our people say that when you see a masquerade, right, jump on top of a roof, and he's working with tumbling, somersaulting, running on top of that roof, and the roof is not caving in, and the masquerade is not being injured, and the masquerade knows where to tread, how to jump, you can easily infer that the masquerade is a carpenter. So why? Because he knows the right place. So you can easily infer what really happened. What exactly does that mean? Internal compliance matter. That has just come to the attention.
Whatever it is, it's not good
after
for their
receiving
business.
a full booking of an event.
It's not good for their business.
Whatever the reasons are, if the coalition or the persons who booked that particular property feel they should press charges, maybe they may press charges if actually the terms of contract allows them to do that. But the bigger picture is these individuals that have come out and they were part of this birthing of another baby. So is it just a coalition? It doesn't look like a merger because there are no parties, individual political parties that have come together to do this. There's individuals that have come together in which many persons are described as being disgruntled. The president called them IDPs.
Internally displaced politicians.
That need a new base. And they have found a base in the ADC now. Can they pull off another APC?
I have my concerns concerning ADC, and this actually was raised long before now. They should have just gotten themselves a new party to register a new one. So when they came up with ADA, we thought maybe that would be it. But again, we know the challenges, getting a new party registered and all, it might take some time. Perhaps that's why they decided to settle with ADC. Yeah. But one of the reasons why they were reluctant in going for an existing party, just like they left the SDP, because of litigations, cases will arise. Those in the party will kick against it. Now we are having exactly that in the ADC. A faction of the ADC is saying that no, we were not carried along. That these people are just coming to take over. They see it as an hostile takeover of their party. That they didn't carry them along. That the grassroots were not carried along in the party. And definitely there might be litigations. Again, this is what they were trying to avoid with the SDP and other parties.
The ADC grassroots, we hear from the the open roof and they will comply. we are here together. I'm not downplaying their concerns, but you know, it's good and it's okay for anybody to agitate and say, wait a minute, the party that we have been in, that they hardly, I think the only ADC representative was one representative from, I think, Kogi State. I'm trying to remember his name. One Abejide, who later ran for governor on the, I think the same ADC in Kogi State in the last election. So they've not really been having the pleasure of having representatives, governors, presidents. And so you will see that a few members of that party have been the one possibly holding the party, spending their money. They've not really been getting any patronage from anywhere.
The National Publicity Secretary is the one crying out now, saying, what's going on?
Well, it will be talked to. That's just it. And everybody will calm down. It's just to know, you know, perhaps there is a way you have to shout so that people will know you are there.
Absolutely.
And so they won't say
you can't just share the cake and leave some people.
That's it. You can't just bat people's hair in the absence of their heads. So somebody has to say, hello, we are here. Absolutely. And so we will cause trouble and then tell your guy,
you should be recognized.
Was this your trouble about come inside and let's talk. Is it, do you want trouble or you want your trouble to go away? It's as easy as that. No, Nigerians are watching. Atiku Abubakar, Mino Tambo, the new chairman. So, you know, and there have been draggings here and there. I saw some on some platform yesterday, some, you know, APC members dragging when Aregbesola to say, wow, what a ridicule. You have downgraded yourself.
For what?
As being a two-time governor, a one-time minister, with his high profile, he's now becoming a national secretary of a relatively unknown party in which somebody who works with him as a commissioner under him is the national secretary of the biggest party.
It doesn't matter. That's a myopic view.
That's a myopic
view.
That's what we call politics.
They are saying ADC is new.
Everything will matter.
They never know what will happen next.
They know what has happened yesterday.
They don't know what will happen.
All right, we look into all of these and other matters as well as far as this nation is concerned. Like it, don't like it, agree with it, you don't agree with it, you know, it's concerning, disturbing, unexpected, surprised or disappointed. The game has started. 2027 is here. Stay with us. All right, we kickstart from the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. The Nigerian Tribune for today. PDP, APC bigwigs take over ADC. PDP, APC bigwigs take over ADC. Now, many riders to that. As party emerges coalition's choice, Mark Aregbesola named the chairman and secretary. Oyegun, CPC caucus in APC join. Nwosu's NWC disowns publicity secretary. Tinubu leading Nigeria to creeping dictatorship. David Mag. All right, and you can see the picture under that. You have the new chairman in his traditional, native color cap. And you see Ogbeni Aregbesola there, the new acting national secretary of the party. Mr. Peter Obi of the Labour, well, is he former now? because we are not even sure if Mr. Peter will have less LP.
No, for now, it's still with the LP,
well,
unless he gets a better deal.
His meeting,
yeah.
Okay. In the middle there, former national chairman of the APC, Mr. Yegun there, and of course, Aminu Twambo, former speaker of the House of Reps and former Sokoto governor there, among others, at the unveiling of the APC and their new status. All right, we'll get to look at that in the course of the program. Now, beside that, you have Constitution Review. Reps receive 46 states, 117 local government areas creation bills. Seek citizens' input during zonal public hearing in 12 centers nationwide. 46 states, 117 local government areas creation bills. All right. So they are seeking everyone's input during zonal public hearing in 12 centers nationwide. Let's talk. Now, below that, Supreme Court reserves judgment in Edo governorship election case. All right. Between the current governor there now, Monday Okwebelo, and his arch rival, his biggest challenger, of the PDP, Mr. Ighodalo. Aswe Ighodalo. Now, Aswe has lost at the tribunal. He lost at the appeal court. The final one is the Supreme Court. So, and the way we see, if anybody is not still satisfied with the Supreme Court, go and tell God. That's all.
Absolutely.
All right. 47% of Northwest lacks access to financial services. 47 of Northwest lacks access to financial services. Minister, what does that mean exactly? Nigerian Tribune has that story. Now, Mokwa flood, 500 confirmed dead, over 600 still missing. That terrible flood that happened like a month ago.
That's a disaster.
500 confirmed dead, over 600 still missing. That's from reps. And raise alarm over possible disease outbreak in IDP camps, affected areas. By the way, I think over the weekend, there was another downpour. Was it a Monday? Yeah, that swept away 2 children, in the same Niger state, but not Mokwa this time around. The downpour has been heavy.
These are human lives, Femi.
Yeah.
500 dead. And we're just going about our normal life.
Still missing.
I mean, as if it's nothing. No, so when people start calling out Mr. President, sometimes you need to look at their motive, their reason here. We have a place where over 500 people lost their lives. The president didn't visit. I mean, no critical decisive action was taken.
Well,
and people are there. And you're saying, why should people not agitate? You're busy in St. Lucia, a country of population of about 180,000 people. We're having over 500 deaths, 600 missing in Niger State.
It's not, that St. Lucia is not even up to the Mokwa's population in the same Niger State. These are the issues.
Quite unfortunate. It doesn't mean we don't value
and it's not just about the president. How about the
lives of our own people?
How about the governor? What has he done since he came back from Hajj? Because it wasn't away in Hajj, on Hajj rather, and he's back now. So what are the issues? What are we seeing? Are those people feeling covered? Are they feeling supported? Are they feeling, being helped by their state government, apart from the federal government?
You know what it says about the country?
Yeah.
For 500 people to die, and I mean, nothing, no attention is being given to it. It's just as if, some cows,
Like we have moved on. That's it. And then you are waiting for the next place.
It's quite unfortunate.
Even if it's up to natural disasters. And, we have said it repeatedly on this program, it's a cue. There is a cue that must be taken by other state governments as well. The moment there are warning signs, Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Water Resources, Ministry of Science and Tech in those states, what are they doing? Is it just by sharing a couple of laptops and say it's empowerment? Minister of Water Resources, what exactly are you doing? To share chlorine chemicals to people in local governments or what? And Ministry of Environment as well. Because some of the times you will see some of these scientific reports from NIMET saying these states, heavy downpour here. But it seems nobody is even listening to anything. It's about this and that. All right. As unfortunate as that is the sad reality. That will be all from the Nigerian Tribune's front page for today.
And from the Nigerian Tribune, we move to the front page of The Nation newspaper. On The Nation newspaper this morning, we have Mark Aregbesola, takeover of ADC sparks chairman's anger. Mark Aregbesola, takeover of ADC sparks chairman's anger with riders. Once you can't surrender party. Right below that, we have Atiku, Obi, Amechi, others at events. Talking about the big event, the unveiling of the new bride for the coalition, the ADC. Some people are not very happy with that decision, saying these guys are just coming to take over our party. So let's see how that goes. And below that, inside, we have ex-presidential candidate Kachiku disowns Atiku, other opposition forces. We also have Oti distances himself from anti-Tinubu alliance. Defectors will rush back to PDP, says Damagunda's PDP national chairman, saying defectors will rush back to PDP. And below that, we have Wike. They are expired politicians. So whatever that means, expired politicians, that's according to Yesom Wike, the FCT minister right there. And right below that, we have a hostile takeover of ADC. That's according to analysis. You'll see the analysis there. You can read up that story on pages 2 and 4 of the Nation newspaper this morning. Of course, that happens to be the biggest story in Nigeria today. The unveiling of the ADC as a new bride for the coalition determined to take power from President Tinubu in 2027. On the top strip of the Nation newspaper this morning, we have Nigeria UN Capital Development Fund to sign interest-free loans pact. Nigeria UN Capital Development Fund to sign interest-free loans pact. You can see that story on page 5. Interest loans. That would be interesting if it comes into force, if it's implemented. Still on the front page of the Nation newspaper this morning. Nigerian professionals for Caribbean. Nigerian professionals for Caribbean with a rider. President meets Nigerian community in St. Lucia. And in the picture right there, you can see the president with some Nigerians in St. Lucia. Quite a number of them. And I mean, there's basically almost no country where you wouldn't find Nigerians. I mean, before now, Femi, some Nigerians never knew anything about St. Lucia. Some Nigerians never knew if there was a country named St. Lucia. That's the truth.
Yeah.
But again, look at Nigerians right there in that picture. So we have quite a number, and this is not the total number of Nigerians there, just those who were privileged to be there to meet with the president. So we have Nigerians basically everywhere on the globe making Nigeria proud, so to speak. And on the bottom strip of the Nation newspaper this morning, we have Ogboji killing. Anambra Ebonyi governments wants perpetrators brought to justice. Ogboji killings, Anambra Ebonyi governments want perpetrators brought to justice. You can read about that story on page 6 of the Nation newspaper. And that'll be all from the front page of the Nation newspaper this morning.
All right, from the Nation newspaper, let's have a look at the front page of the Punch. The Punch for today. 2027, Atiku, Obi, Mark, launch ADC to unseat Tinubu. 2027 elections, Atiku, Obi, Mark, launch ADC to unseat Tinubu. Over 20 ex-governors, ex-APC, BDP bigwigs, Buhari's ministers join coalition. ADC faction reject takeover. You see the picture there of those individuals that were at the adoption of ADC as the coalition party. All right, in one of those pictures, you see the picture of the image rather of Nasir El-Rufai, Rotimi Amechi, Atiku Abubakar, David Mark, Rauf Argbeshala, Peter Obi there. Many persons were at that program, and it was held at the Yaradua Civic Center. And of course, Raf Ungusu was there as well. So these are some of the faces of the new party members.
Raf also was there.
Yeah.
So why are they reporting that he won't surrender party? I mean, if it's there, what does it mean? Isn't that consent? so why are some people reporting that he won't surrender party?
That's former national chairman, ADC, Mr. Raf.
Well, we actually understand that the executives of ADC, former executives, actually resigned to make way for the new ones. Interesting.
MEN, that's man. Marketers rally for refineries privatization as $3 billion repairs falter. Manufacturer Association of Nigeria, man. Marketers rally for refineries privatization as $3 billion repairs falter. All right, and you know, all those monies that have been spent on the rejuvenation of Nigerian refineries, total waste.
Absolutely.
Total. Almost total.
Billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Billions of dollars.
Years, spanning years. Not just about the renovation. There have been people that are being on the payroll of these refineries for years, you know, and they have been paid for producing nothing. Actually, for years.
We are just being wasteful as a nation. That's just it.
I remember when the former labor minister was asked, I'm trying to remember who it was now, the man before Chris Ngige, and he said, you know, that there's nothing that they can do, actually, because when you sack them, it said it's the same labor. He was telling those labor guys that it's the same labor, NLC, TUC, that you still come with all kind of agitations, that people have been sacked. So what can they do than to just leave them there and find a way around? So it means for like 15 years now, or 10 years, 15 years, there are some people that have been on that payroll and they have been doing next to nothing. Possibly just come once in a month, sign attendance to say they are still alive, and that's all. Taking money from refineries that have not been working.
Why won't they love Nigeria?
Well, these are the issues. And you know the salary scale of people working at refineries. All right. These are some of the issues. And they have been there for years. All right. There is that you might even say there might be even some of them that have left the country.
Yeah.
And you can't even
applies
say
to civil service that you have a lot of them who have left Nigeria.
They are not here. They are still drawing their salaries in their account. Everything is getting set because there is a nation called Nigeria
so many
who loves to
system.
be wasteful. Is that even a leakage? You know, leakage is when something is just a little part of something just, you know,
now we have pipes connected.
That's it.
Pipes connected to the system.
Somebody said some of the things we do here in Nigeria and the way we run, our administrators run this country, irrespective and regardless of how blessed this country is, you know, human resources, natural resources, the administration is exactly how not to run a country. If you are looking for a project of how not to run a country,
Nigeria will be a good example. Quite unfortunate.
Now, U.S. jails France-based Nigerian 41 months for $8 million fraud. Reps seek emergency relief for Niger Kwara flood victims. You know, some of the people that are supposed to be shouting about flood and helping people that they want to do have their picture here. Some of them, rather, because they are busy
playing politics.
Something else. And theirs is even secondary. How about the primary one? The primary ones are the people that are in position.
But what are the people of Niger State doing? How come they've not been protests? I mean, serious protests against the government. When we have hundreds of people losing their lives and
that was a natural disaster.
It doesn't matter.
Not like
yes,
it might be it
is part of the responsibility of the government to safeguard the lives and property
of the people, right,
in that geographic
and ameliorate their pains.
Absolutely.
When it happens. Now, Nigeria must review 2025 budget to avert crisis. IMF warns, excuse me and excuse you. What is IMF today, IMF tomorrow? Nigeria must review 2025 budget to avert crisis. Are we about to have something in our hands again? Because very soon, in the next 1 month, you see one appropriation bill being sent over. You know, and it is what it is. That now that the IMF is saying we must review 2025 budget, is it downward or upward? And what's the business of IMF?
Nigeria should know
as a sovereign nation.
Brethren Woods institutions like IMF and World Bank, they don't really care about you. That's the truth. I'm sorry to say this. You should look out for yourself. You know, when Ibrahim Traore said it, Burkina Faso's leader, he knew exactly what he was saying. You do not need these guys. If you know what you're doing, because they will give you policies, at the end of the day, it's just to favor them. So if you think their sole responsibility, they are preoccupied with thoughts and ideas to make Nigeria better, you're wasting your time. We should fix our nation ourselves and not just, taking policies from IMF and all that.
That will be all from, the Punch newspaper.
From the Punch newspaper, we move to the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. 2027, coalition adopts ADC. 2027, coalition adopts ADC. With a rider, PDP threatens to sanction members promoting groove. Talking about 2027, a coalition of opposition forces has formally adopted the African Democratic Congress, ADC, at its platform, of course, to challenge the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, in the 2027 general election. And that big event, of course, took place yesterday. Moving to the top strip of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, we have ex-student sentenced to death by hanging for killing teacher. Quite unfortunate. Ex-student sentenced to death by hanging for killing teacher. And beside that, we have experts disagree with IMF over 3.4% GDP growth forecast. Experts disagree with IMF over 3.4% GDP growth forecast. Of course, we have experts disagreeing with IMF right now. Again, after the spring meetings, the last spring meetings in Washington, D.C., when IMF and World Bank came out, painted a grim picture about Nigeria's economy, how poverty would increase in Nigeria to 2030 and all that. Then all of a sudden, they became bullish about their prediction. There was a sudden turnaround. Now they're predicting at first it was 3.6. Now we're seeing 3.4 prediction of economic growth. Now experts are not, taking that. I think they're taking it with a pinch of salt. They do not quite agree with some of these predictions. You might want to find out details of that story in the Daily Trust newspaper today. I think that's on page 19. And still on the front page of Daily Trust newspaper this morning, you can see a picture right there of houses and farm products destroyed in Sokoto by gunmen. Houses and farm products destroyed by some gunmen right there. And below that, we have, in reprisal, gunmen kill 15 persons in Sokoto. In reprisal, gunmen kill 15 persons in Sokoto. You find that story on page 10. Quite unfortunate, having violence, here and there, especially in northern Nigeria. And below that, at the bottom strip, we have man arrested after sneaking into bank to hack systems. Man arrested after sneaking into bank to hack systems. You find the story on page 24. Someone was having some, lofty ideas, right? Trying to hack systems in the bank.
Unbelievably and wickedly ingenious was that for him. We learned, he came in the previous day definitely you can only come through the front and then went through the restroom, like somebody who wants to take care of himself. And then from there, he started his, what's this movie again? The Heist.
Heist.
He wants to singularly pull off, and we learned he made some attempts on some computers. And so when the staff members returned him the money, they found him there.
How dumb can a man be? Well, I think his hacking skills are still elementary. Because yes, I was assuming he doesn't really have to be in the bank to do that. The real hackers.
Daniel.
The real hackers, I'm telling you.
Tell me more.
He doesn't have to be in the bank. His hacking skills are still elementary.
I want to suggest, I want to strongly advise that we get back to what we're here.
We have sophisticated.
Because this is where you are professing.
Hackers, not professing. We have sophisticated hackers, so we hack systems and implant malwares. So he doesn't have to.
But then we don't have to say it like it's the right thing to do.
No, I'm just saying. That's just on the light note.
I'm seriously advising that you go back to what you are doing.
Just on the lighter note. Just on the lighter note. He should improve on his hacking skills. Away from that, still on the front page of the Daily Trust this morning. Missing Mokwa flood victims presumed dead. Missing Mokwa flood victims presumed dead. That's according to lawmakers. You find that on page 24. And of course, finally, from the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, 6 killed, many injured as bandits, vigilantes clash in Kwara. 6 killed, many injured as bandits, vigilantes clash in Kwara. You find a story on page 25. Bandits clashing with vigilantes. It's quite unfortunate. That'll be all from the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. And that also brings us to a conclusion of the newspaper review segment of the show this morning. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll bring you our insightful conversations for the day. Please stay with us.